Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Bastang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 4.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cool News at 4. Today is October 16, 2024, and we will be getting into this hour's headlines right here. The House of Representatives Quad Committee will not submit its findings on extrajudicial killings during the Duterte administration's drug war to the International Criminal Court, according to Circle the Non-Executive Representative Ace Barbers. Barbers expressed support for President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.'s administration, which rejects calls to submit the Quad Committee's documents to the International Court, also currently investigating EG case. My personal stand on this issue is, since we are not members of the ICC, and the President has made his statement to this position with the ICC, I will support that decision, the Quadcom panel chair said in an interview over Kapihan sa Manila Bay on Wednesday. We do not provide documents or transcripts made by the Quadcom in relationship to the EG case so the ICC can use them, because again, we are not members of ICC. We are following the statement of the President and we will stick to that, he added. But Barbers pointed out that the ICC can access the records and other information related to the Quadcom's ongoing investigation through the lower chamber's social media accounts. If they want to have access to records or access the information on the investigation, the ICC can go to all social media platforms. It's a public record, they can access at any time, and we will not stop them from doing that, he said. During the recent hearing, retired Police Colonel Rowena Garma alleged that former Chief Executive Rodrigo Duterte and other high-ranking officials during his administration sanctioned covert operations replicating the Davao City model of extrajudicial killings on a national scale. Based on reports, Duterte's war on drugs left at least 6,000 people dead. However, various human rights groups and advocates claim that the number may have reached 20,000. Duterte and his former police chief and now Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa were among the personalities mentioned in the crimes against humanity complaint pending before the ICC. Robbers on Wednesday stole 100,000 pesos in cash, a gun, and cell phones from the home of a Chinese businessman in Kawit, Cavite. The police region 4A reported that the suspects aboard two cars entered a subdivision in Barangay Macdalo, Putol around 2:30 a.m. Armed with long and short firearms, the suspects entered the house of their target along Nara Avenue. Once inside, they tied up a Chinese cook named Yuhan Guan and a security guard named Charlie Bolias. The robbers then proceeded to take cell phones, a caliber .45 pistol, and cash. The police said the suspects tried to enter the second floor of the house where the businessman, who was not identified in the report, was resting but were unsuccessful. The suspects escaped through the main gate of the subdivision. An investigation is underway to establish the identity of the robbers. Police launched a manhunt to arrest the suspects. A male Chinese national was allegedly kidnapped on Tuesday, October 15, by his armed compatriots and repeatedly shot but survived in Cabuyao City, Laguna Province. The region 4A police reported that Ling was abducted by four Chinese men and dropped at around 4 p.m. on the roadside in Barangay Dismo. The suspects then repeatedly shot him in different parts of his body before they escaped aboard the victim's car. The police said the victim was taken to a local hospital and is now stable. Investigators were checking if there was a security camera around the area for possible identification of the kidnappers. An investigation is underway to determine the motive behind the incident. Police launched the manhunt to arrest the kidnappers. Former Associate Justice Antonio Carpio on Wednesday said the televised court committee hearings could be used by the International Criminal Court in its investigation into crimes against humanity allegedly committed by former President Rodrigo Duterte during his administration's bloody war on drugs. Well, because the court hearings are televised proceedings can be submitted, Carpio told reporters in a Sambayan press conference in response to a question on whether the committee hearings can be used by the ICC. Like before, President Duterte was interviewed and he said, "I was the one who ordered that. That's an admission, that's an extrajudicial confession, that's admissible," he added. However, Carpio expressed hope that the submission of the Quadcom investigation to the ICC would be done officially. I hope that we officially submit the committee transcript and video. I hope that we do that officially, he said. Carpio's pronouncements came after retired police colonel Rowena Garma's recent exposed before the Quad committee where she revealed that Duterte offered cash rewards for every drug suspect killed in his administration's brutal war on drugs. Despite the bombshell, Malacanan on Monday said that it has no intention to rejoin the ICC even amid calls to have President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. officially submit the House Quadcom investigation findings as part of the International Court's case built up against Duterte. During Duterte's term and the infamous drug war, government records showed that at least 6,200 drug suspects have died in legitimate anti-drug operations. However, many human rights groups claim that the actual number of individuals slain during the drug war can be between 12,000 to 30,000. A University of the Philippines study on January 23, 2021 even revealed that the drug war had killed an estimated 2 people each day. And a municipal mayor and 9 others were charged with theft after the death of a job order employee while working on a construction site in the Dalagute town, Cebu. But Dalagute Mayor Ronald Esante described the case filed against him by the National Bureau of Investigation Central Visayas as an attack on him and the town's progress in the wake of the election season. Filed at the Office of the Ombudsman on October 10 were charges for violating the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, reckless imprudence resulting in homicide as penalized under Article 635 and about Article 249 of the revised penal code, and grave misconduct as penalized under the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards of Public Officials and Safety. Lawyer Rina Olivia, NBI's Bureau Director, said that their investigation showed that Ensenales, a job order employee of the Dalagute municipal government, fell and died at the construction site of a proposed multi-purpose building due to a lack of safety equipment on June 5. The same investigation showed that government workers and equipment have been tapped by a private construction firm hired by the municipal government to construct the building. The probe stemmed from the request of the family of Ensenales who suspected foul play over the death of their loved one. Aside from Asante, the respondents in the complaint were officials of the municipal engineer Expedidas Linares and his staff, engineer Fernando Armesin and Arnie Amarado, and junior project engineer Juan Castillo of the Department of Public Works and Highways. Also included in the complaint were officials of the Power Frame Construction and Development Corp, which was hired to construct the multipurpose building, President Peter Paul Diwa Jr., Vice President Arthur Diwa, Treasurer Sally Tuktu, Secretary Mary Joy de la Cruz, and staff member Harry Diwa. Santos said that while he had not received a copy of the complaint, It was not the first time the charges against him were filed during an election period. It's no coincidence that these accusations have surfaced now, just as the elections are approaching, Sendit said. It's difficult to fight an opponent who has millions, doesn't care about the town's progress or its residents, and is willing to pay Facebook trolls, the mayor added without naming names. Sasante assured the people of Galagute that he would not engage in dirty tactics to destroy his years of service through the doubt. These attacks are merely attempts to discredit the progress we have built together as a united town, said the mayor. It is now 4:11 in the afternoon. We will get back into more national, international, and showbiz entertainment news when we return here on Cool News at 4. So stick around with us. We will be right back. Welcome back to Cool News at 4. Let's continue with the headlines. A case build-up is ongoing on the illegal mining operations in Camarines Norte, where some Chinese workers were arrested, Environment Secretary Maria Antonia Yulo Loizaga said on Wednesday. In the press briefing, arrested Chinese workers may face criminal complaints. What we know is that in fact this operation has a history. And in 2023, we also know that they had completed their permitting requirements and had been permitted to operate, she said. However, now they have found to have been operating also beyond the area where they have been permitted to operate. And of course, there is the presence of foreign workers, she added. The chief of the the chief of the Department of Environment and National Resources did not disclose the name of the mining company. She only said it is a small-scale operation where heavy local government and local community components might be involved. Last October 13, authorities arrested 11 Chinese workers for their alleged involvement in the illegal construction of a mineral processing plant in Camarines Norte. It was a joint operation of the Bureau of Immigration, Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the Philippine National Police. Yulo Loizaga said another mining operation at the boundary of Cagayan de Oro and Iligan was blocked by authorities. Foreigners were also discovered working there. She did not provide details about it. Supreme Court was asked to stop the transfer of 59.9 billion pesos PhilHealth excess fund to Treasury. Bayamuna parties on Wednesday filed a motion before the Supreme Court seeking to immediately stop transfer of 59.9 billion pesos of PhilHealth excess funds to the National Treasury and to return the remitted funds to the agency. The motion was filed by Bayamuna Chair Neri Colmenares and former Bayamuna Representatives Carlos Isangani, Zarate, Ferdinand Gaite, and Teddy Casino. In the motion, the petitioners stressed the intricacy of the matter, noting that with the oral arguments for the consolidated petitions involving the transfer of PhilHealth excess funds set in January 2025, the full transfer may have already been completed. This would render the issue moot unless immediate action is taken, they added. The petitioners also argued that allowing the fund transfer to continue renders the injury grave and irreparable to the public. Wherefore, premises considered, respectfully pray of the Honorable Court that a temporary restraining order be immediately issued restraining respondents and all persons acting under the authority from transferring the remaining balance of 59.9 billion pesos of PhilHealth fund balance scheduled for transfer to the on-program appropriations, the motion read. In the alternative, petitioners pray that a status quo ante order be immediately issued retaining respondents and all persons acting under authority from enforcing the said transfer and for the return of the 30 billion pesos already transferred on May 10 and August 21, 2024, respectively, EDAD. Bayamuna filed the motion on top of the petition they filed in September, challenging the 2024 General Appropriations Act, specifically the inclusion of Section 1B, Chapter XLIII, which allowed the transfer of PhilHealth's excess funds. So far, under the Department of Finance Circular 003-2024, 20 billion pesos was transferred to the National Treasury on May 10, followed by 10 billion pesos on August 21. The third tranche at 30 billion pesos is set to be transferred this October, while the remaining funds will be transferred in November. Time for the national headlines as Hong Kong leader John Lee rolled out plans on Wednesday to ban flats under 8 square meters and cut import tax on spirits in a bid to ease a long-term housing crunch and boost the city's sluggish economy. Lee's administration has both focused on livelihood issues and take the Chinese finance hub from stability to prosperity following a wide-ranging crackdown in the wake of pro-democracy protests in 2019. Lee's speech was his third policy address since the former security chief was stopped by Beijing to be the city leader in 2022. Speaking at the semi-autonomous city's legislative council, he said flats smaller than 8 square meters or 86 square feet, twice the size of a king-size bed, would be banned. Registered landlords will be given time to make sure their subdivided flats meet the minimum size and other conditions, including having windows and independent toilets. Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered Hong Kong to resolve its long-standing housing woes. The city has some of the most expensive housing in the world, and 110,000 households in a population of 7.5 million live in subdivided flats. A government study in 2021 found that 21% of households in subdivided units have had a living space of below 7 square meters, smaller than a parking space, which is 75 square feet. Lee also on Wednesday slashed taxes on liquor with more than 30% alcohol content and an import price of over 200 Hong Kong dollars or 25.75 US dollars, are both hoping to boost tourism as well as high-end food and beverage consumption. Other policies to boost the economy, including expanding the investors' immigration scheme to include luxurious residence buyers and setting up a 10 billion Hong Kong dollars or 1.29 billion US dollars fund to invest in industries like artificial intelligence and semiconductors. Initiatives were also rolled out to increase the admission of university students and workers to meet a shortage of 180,000 laborers in the next 5 years. Hong Kong's economy has yet to bounce back after the 2019 protests and the subsequent 3 years of self-imposed isolation due to the pandemic curves. Hong Kong officials are also eager to repair the city's international reputation, which took a hit after the implementation of 2 national security laws that critics say have curtailed rights. Shortly before Lee's address, 5 activists from the League of Social Democrats, the city's last remaining opposition party, staged a petition outside government headquarters closely watched by 1,000 police officers. And North Korea claimed Wednesday that more than 1 million young people had signed up for or rejoined the army this week after Pyongyang accused Seoul's military of sending drones into its airspace. Pyongyang on Tuesday blew up deeply symbolic roads and railways connecting the two Koreas after warning any further drone flights will be considered a declaration of war and ordered soldiers on the border to prepare to fight. Seoul initially denied sending drones, but Pyongyang claims it has clear evidence of official involvement in the campaign, which purportedly features anti-regime propaganda leaflets scattered over the North's capital. Millions of young people have turned out in the nationwide struggle to wipe out the ROK scum, who committed a serious provocation of violating the sovereignty of the TVRK through a drone installation, the official Korean Central News Agency said, referring to both countries by their official acronyms. It said more than 1.4 million youth league officials and youth and students across the country volunteered to join or rejoin the Korean People's Army on October 14 and 15. While it remains unclear who is behind the drone flights, South Korean activists have blown flowing balloons carrying anti-Pyongyang regime leaflets over the border, a tactic that infuriates the North and which has responded by bombarding the South with trash-carrying balloons. To protect its citizens, the provincial government of Gyeonggi will designate Jeochun, Gimpo, and Baju as special danger zones where anyone trying to send leaflets to the north may be subject to criminal investigation, an officer from the Gyeonggi provincial government told AFP. The Gyeonggi province considers the act of distributing anti-North leaflets to be a crisis-causing dangerous act that could cause a military conflict, the Gyeonggi government said in a separate statement. And finally, in the showbiz happenings, the professionalism of SB19 and Pini are praises after managing to complete their performances on Billboard Philippines anniversary show despite persistent technical difficulties. The two people groups were the final acts at a 6-hour Billboard Philippines main stage anniversary event held at the Mall of Asia Arena. Even though the show started on Tuesday night, October 15, the people groups performed in the early morning of the following day. At around 1:30 a.m., Beanie was the second to the last performer, where Cherry on Top's instrumental was suddenly cut off. This led the members to be momentarily confused, but they managed to push forward sing a cappella. Their fans or groups sang along to show support as well. When the music returned, the film update went on, but Stately was heard saying, "Take two," seemingly asking for a repeat. Beanie continued the stage with Panchobico, although the members were noticeably singing louder on their respective microphones. After the performance ended, the group's leader Jiho thanked fans for the support despite the technical difficulty and their late appearance. And for SB19, they took the stage at around 1:25 p.m. a.m. with Mana. However, there seemed to be a problem with the synchronization of the instrumental and live